I'm Lauren with Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be taking a detailed look at the Matador Droplet water-resistant stuff sack, which I've been testing for the last 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So this is the newer iteration of the Droplet stuff sack. We had originally tested the more droplet looking version. So I'm going to kind of do a quick run through about the differences, but mostly focusing on this newer version because this is the one that is available now. So with this one on the left, you can just see just right off the bat, the shape of the actual like silicone container is different. So it has a very similar feel in terms of thickness. The main difference is the actual shape itself. So this one here is shaped like a little water droplet. Ooh, and then this one is shaped like a, more so like their towel cases and for all of their like packable towels. And it just has more room. So one of my main qualms with this one here was that it was really hard to pack up and get back into here just because this shape is so unique. And with this one here, it's a lot easier to get inside. So I'm gonna kind of set this off to the side and just reference it when needed, but I can kind of walk you through this one here. The biggest difference between the old one and this one here is that this one is now 2.5 liters, whereas the other one was 3. I'll show you them kind of side by side, but they are very similar. And then with the material itself, this is a water-resistant nylon instead of a polyester. So still has that ripstop, so it does still have that same durability, and they feel very similar, but just something to note. So in order to get this out, you just kind of open this up, and then enough to just pull it essentially, and then you can just kind of set this to the side. A little bit of Matador branding there, and then a stainless steel key ring. So in general, you know, materials feel nice and durable. A little droplet there in case you forget it's the Droplet dry sack. And then rolling it out here, you can see its full shape. So kind of right off the bat, you can see the more subtle Matador branding right there. And then this also comes in a blue color if you want a little bit of a pop of color. I like the black one, it's pretty sleek. And then on the back here, there's nothing. So it is very subtle. And then the actual shape itself, it's more on like the round side. And so it has this base to it as well. So I'm actually gonna pull out this guy so we can do like a quick reference when needed. So, you know, this pulls right out, and then set that off over there. It pulls out, and then looking at these side by side, this one's just a little bit wider. It is technically 3 liters versus the 2.5, which is the new version, but they are pretty comparable in terms of storage size. And with a bag this small, you really, like, that half a liter doesn't really make a huge difference. It will if you're trying to shove like a bunch of wet stuff in here, but for the most part, if you just use it for like a bathing suit or a towel or something like that, then it is still pretty roomy. So looking at this base here, like I mentioned, it is like a rounded base versus this one, which is just completely flat. And this makes it gives it a little bit more of a round shape when you actually pack it out. So I have something to stick in there a little bit later, but just kind of running through the rest of it. If I pull the material up real close, you can see a little bit of that ripstop pattern there. So that just adds a little bit of durability. And then with the drawstring closure, it's like a huge upgrade, I would say, from this original one here. In order to close it, you just push that little buckle down, tighten it up. It's nice and closed. And then if you want to reopen it, there is like a little, it's like a little nylon, I'll move that out of the way so it focuses, nylon little tab here that just you kind of use for like support, and then you just pull it right back open. So super simple and easy to use. It is just, you know, sort of a stuff sack really. The biggest thing is that it is so packable. And then with the inside here, we have these taped seams, which just add a little bit of weatherproofing, and then it has a PU coating throughout as well. The main thing to remember is that this is not meant for submersion. So it does, you know, mainly because it's not a full closure, right? So it's not completely sealed. It just has that drawstring. So, you know, if this isn't something where you're gonna like if you were like kayaking or doing something a little bit more rugged, you're not going to want to have this like right inside of the water, but it's great if you, for instance, like have a bathing suit, which I can grab mine. So this is just a, women's medium bathing suit. It fits right on the inside. And then you can see, like I was talking about earlier, it fits nicely in that like rounded circular bottom. So it almost like just kind of like stands up on its own almost, which is really nice. It just kind of like, it feels a little bit more like thoughtful and sturdy than this previous version here, which I really like. And then the drawstring itself is more of like a cord than anything. And then on the end you have like the shrink wrap, very like grippable end there. Whereas this one, I had some issues with it just kind of in general, but it's like more of a rope. You can see it's like fraying at the end. I had one instance where it just kind of straight up slipped out of here. And this one just in general feels a lot more secure, kind of across the board with, all of like the stitching and the tape seams and that coating and everything. I would say, it's a pretty sizable upgrade despite the fact that it is a little bit on the smaller side. So again, it's something really great. You can just use this to, this little key ring, keep it on your keys or something like that. If you want to have it on hand, then you kind of always you always have it if you end up slipping into some water or you want to go for a swim or something like that. You don't have to stick all of your wet gear back into your bag. You can use it for dirty clothes, anything like that. So it is pretty versatile, and with being so packable, it's a great size. So if you want to get it back in there, like I mentioned, this one here was a lot more difficult to get back into the Droplet dry bag. You can look at that review if you want to get an idea of it. But essentially what I do is I just kind of fold it. I fold it in thirds there, and then I fold it in thirds on the other side to sort of meet in the middle, and then roll it up. And then you have it to go into this, this little silicone storage spot. So I just sort of hold it open as best as possible, stick it in on one side, and try and keep the opening available. So I would say in general, it's not like these are the easiest things to use, but this one is significantly easier than the actual Droplet. I can actually get it in there and get it in there fully instead of it just like sticking out kind of weirdly out of this main hole here. So once you get it in there, it's nice and easy, nice and compact, and you can bring it pretty much anywhere. So there you have it, the Matador Droplet Dry Sack. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.